Police say you're a trigger puller. Police say you're a trigger puller.
As you're about to see, there are too many folks, too many members of our community who still have to live under the constant fear and threat of gang and gun violence.
When I hear the term gang violence, I think stupidity. Well, I became affiliated. I became a part. I wasn't affiliated. I became a part because I was tired of how can you say, the prejudice from the Latin dudes on Rikers Island. And I never wanted to be a part of it, but I was just like chosen. You could be in a gang, but if you're not doing nothing illegal, what's wrong with being in a gang? There's no law against being in a gang. Sometimes it's just acceptance or just being around. Everybody, they never really called it a gang. Just a crew. Just a crew of people that be around each other, that hang around each other every day. They call us a gang. But the police, you know what the meaning of gang is? It's a group of people that has one goal, and they make everybody do what they say. Well, that's what the police do. They're a gang.
I'm a little bit behind.
Hello. Nice to see you. So first of all, welcome to the Brooklyn DA's office. I'm Eric Gonzalez. I'm the elected district attorney of Brooklyn, New York. I am the voice of the community in terms of the law enforcement voice. Technically, the district attorney is the chief law enforcement officer in its borough. So I liaise with the police department, the courts, and trying to figure out when someone gets arrested, what should happen with their case. Will it get sent to court, and will the person be charged with a crime? And if they're charged with a crime at court, what the outcome of the case should look like, whether or not it's going to be a plea bargain, or a case that goes to trial, or maybe something that, after investigation is dismissed because it's unfounded.
How do you feel about the way law enforcement handles gang-related issues?
I feel they don't handle them correctly. They don't handle anything else correctly. They could use their training and learn how to use their mouth instead of their weapons. Because we only retaliate. We on the defense. They're always on the offense. The negative part is whatever somebody in your gang does, it reflects on you. Even though if you're not that type of way. Let's say if you got a bunch of gangsters selling drugs. I don't sell drugs. But just because I'm affiliated with them, they're gonna say I sell drugs too. I don't say I contributed, but I try to talk to some of the little young homies and tell them that whatever you're doing is not the way to do it. If they don't listen, well, they're gonna learn the hard way.
Today, the number one reason young people die is through gun violence. So the work that we do around gang prevention is among the most important work that I do as district attorney, because about 60% of all of the shootings that take place in Brooklyn are gang related. So if we really want to drive down gun violence, we have to do gun and gang prevention. We have too many guns on the street. Everyone knows it's pretty easy to get your hands on an illegal gun. It doesn't cost that much money to buy one or to borrow one. You can get it, guns too freely. We see too many young people get hurt, lose their lives, or go to jail for a beef that they don't even know what the beef's about. They weren't around when the beef started. The beef started 10 years ago. They have no idea why they're beefing, but they know that person is a rival because they belong to a different, organization. People who grew up as young kids, they played basketball together, they went to school together. All of a sudden they joined an organization. They were friends before. They used to eat at each other's, their mom used to cook for each other, the kids. And now they're rivals. And now they're doing things against each other simply because of the affiliation. We have a program in Brooklyn called Project Restore, where we work with young gang members to show them that there are other alternatives. Unfortunately, you could be a minor player within your crew or your gang. If your gang is engaged in a robbery or homicide or some kind of shooting, you can be indicted both under federal law and state law, under conspiracy laws or on federal law under RICO laws for things that you didn't even necessarily know you were responsible for. But we have a lot of success stories in Brooklyn, and I'm proud to say this. I've spent a lot of my career working with young people, doing prevention work, getting involved in schools to keep people on track. And we've had young people who've gotten arrested, and we've put them into programs and alternatives to incarceration. And I've watched a lot of them stay out of trouble, graduate from school, get jobs, start families. We had a young man a couple of years ago who was arrested, had his case dismissed, and became a firefighter. We get the right resources and the right help for young people. Their futures can be really bright. Like, we can't think that we're the worst that we've ever done. We have to think that we can do more than simply repeat past mistakes.
It's not gonna bring Kiara back, but it gave us some type of peace that they off the streets.
Fatal shooting of a 1-year-old boy in Brooklyn. They'll be sentenced.
I think overwhelmingly, society thinks that young people should get second chances when appropriate. And when appropriate is where it gets difficult, because some people can disagree on what's appropriate. But I think generally understanding that young people, their brains aren't fully mature, they're more prone to make mistakes, to exercise poor judgment. And I think typically our laws understand that. That's why we have a family court, and that's why we have an adult court, understanding that young people are not completely lost simply because they made an error or made a mistake, that they need to be rehabilitated to do the right things. So I find that generally the public is supportive of young people getting second chances, but they want to make sure that they're going to be held accountable. They're not going to continue to be excused for what they did wrong simply because they're young. And that's the balance as district attorney that I have to make. We want you guys to be successful. We don't want to see you in prison. We don't want to see you get shot or hurt or die. And so we have to do a better job as a community to give young people more options in their life. I don't blame the young person who finds friendship or brotherhood in the affiliation of a crew or gang, because there's not enough for us to do. There's not enough resources. There's not enough in our communities. Find something else to give you a sense of purpose and a sense of community, because that's a lot of what gang life's about. It's a sense of purpose, meaning, friendship, and we have to make sure that folks have different opportunities other than joining a gang to feel loved.